Let's call upon Ravi Burlagadda.
Hi. Hi guys, hi. Are you able to hear me? Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for BSides Mumbai for inviting me here. And it's a privilege and honor to be with all of you. They asked me to summarize, to share about my experience, my journey, last 25 years, and then how to build the security team, and what are the challenges we do face. Okay, I don't have any PPT. I hope you are okay with that. Is it audible? Yeah, I'll spend time for that to have more questions so that at the end, so that we'll have more interactive conversation. Yes, briefly, I spent 8 years with consulting world in TCS and 7 years with Microsoft in the product landscape, and last 10 years with Jio Platforms. It's a mix of all with a disrupting, making sure that we disrupt and contribute to India. That's where my role is. I'm heading about the security leader. I'm one of the security leader in Jio, and I'm heading about multiple platforms, application security vertical, architecture security vertical, DevSecOps, and identity and access management, and PKI infrastructure. These are the different verticals for Jio Platforms, retail, all. There are multiple subsidiaries within Reliance Industries. Some of the industries I'll be core means contributing, providing security services to all the departments. That's a little background about myself, what I'm doing about that. When I started my journey, I started as a developer. As we always say when we interview, when we try to hire, when we give the coaching and give the importance to the different youngsters, I always give the saying about that you need to have a little development experience. Without my knowledge, I myself started my career with a development experience. As a college fresher, I joined in TCS, and as you know that TCS, they do give the training in Trivandrum and they do deploy in the project. Okay, how many people have experienced or heard from this story like that? Yes. Yeah, when I started this one is, they gave the opportunity to work on Linux kernel programming. Indirectly, it's not by blessings. Indirectly, I got the opportunity to learn about kernel internals. Okay, and over that particular, give a little insight how to change my portfolio from a developer to the something different, skilled professional. I utilize the opportunity. Why I'm giving this opportunity? Let's say there are many people, they are in a development track or security, monitoring, different verticals people are there, they have a different aspirations. Okay. Why I'm trying to give this as an example, utilize the opportunity, whatever you have about that, and try to build it. And you will get the opportunity to expand your skills. Okay. Excuse me. When I have about that, this Linux kernel internals, and later on, I spend most of my time in entire Linux environment. Okay, my 5 years journey is totally in Linux. Okay, I will give an example. It took about 10 working days or 10 to 15 working days to explore the command of xstart or startx. I'm talking about 2000 time frame. Okay, there are no people who will guide us, who will try to do, how to help us about that. Because it's a learning, self-learning. Why I'm giving importance is especially security enthusiasts, security researchers, bug hunters, whoever, ethical hackers, whoever want to pursue their career, who want to build their careers in the security domain. I'm saying about that, you have to be consistent and persistent to fulfill your interest and try to move towards that. Okay, yeah, as you know, in TCS world, it's a consulting empire. It's one of the pioneer and one of the greatest company where the consulting is the business and bag many huge businesses. But I got privileged to work in the development vertical of the TCS. Okay, and during that phase, I learned, we build about the PKI infrastructure, public key infrastructure, and it became one of the certifying authority within the country. And then later on, after spending some time, the Microsoft is looking for the security professionals. Okay, they are looking for the who has hacking skills, where they're least bothered about what is the background, because I never worked on Microsoft technologies. I'm totally open source guy. Okay, the GNU founder, he visited in Hyderabad. I was totally motivated toward the open source. I do hate Microsoft at one point of time. Okay, as this is one of the opportunity or one of the professional commitment, my company want to back the business from the Microsoft. They asked me to participate in the interview call, because Microsoft always try to take the, even there is a business relationship with Microsoft and TCS, they always interview and select the candidates. Okay, there are a lot of rejection. The TCS, you may heard of the TCS SEEPs is there. I am based out from Hyderabad. I got the opportunity because I took the challenge as a security profile. That's the only interest. I spent time and tried to understand about that. I cracked the interview. They selected with me. Then I moved there in Microsoft, and I built I am acting as the, in 2002-4 time frame onwards to another 2 years, 3 years, I worked as a consultant there. Then later on, they offered me as a employee. Then I joined there. Why I'm giving this story is because opportunity knocked me. Okay, I got the opportunity to learn, to contribute in Microsoft technologies, especially in there are about 20,000 plus line of business applications are there in Microsoft. If I am not part of application security vertical, if I am not part of the security, I don't get the chance to cover and understand the different landscapes of different set of applications. I'm not talking about the products, I'm talking about the internal line of business applications. So it gives the opportunity to work on product stack, little bit product stack, and line of business applications. And in the along with that applications, I worked in the Xbox, little bit Xbox security, and a little bit about the Windows this one, and then spent some time with the security for the Skype and Yammer acquisition. These are the different gamut. I got the exposure to provide security services. Why I'm giving this one is you have to use every opportunity to convert into the opportunity to learn, enhance your security skills. And the security controls, the security recommendations that you provide for a line of business applications and what we provide for the products is totally different. Okay, now I'm just fast track to the, in TCS when I joined here, they asked me to set up the practice here. When I'm here, I moved to Mumbai with a one-way ticket flight, with a plan to stay for only 1 day in Mumbai. Okay, I am continuing in Mumbai and Jio Platforms from last 10 years because there is a continuously on every day I am getting the opportunity to innovate and excel and master new technology stacks, work on new things in Jio. Why I am giving this one example is because in the industry we do have a lot of opportunities that you get a chance to work about that. Okay, here the exposure with the consulting and products, and here it's a disrupting. Okay, this is a little background about myself, what we're trying to say that, let me give one, this one is, if I give a WhatsApp as a review in any enterprise organization, will it clear InfoSec clearance? How many people raise their hands? Will it clear about InfoSec clearance or security clearance? It won't get cleared. But that is the only leading player in the instant messaging or not? That is the only leading player. The reason is innovation and customer friendly business drives. We have to be a business enabler. The more we understand the business, the more we are closely understand what is that, how we can compete with the competitors, how we can innovate ourselves, then only you will get the answers. And in the behind the scenes, security is always be the intangible contributor and invisible contributor to the organization. Are you with me? If you try to see that, Jio has expanded last 5 years journey. We have about close to 400 plus million subscribers. Did you see any major headlines? Especially from security perspective. The reason behind is, behind the scenes, security team are contributing it and building the customer confidence and building the partner ecosystem and indirectly helping the company, helping the organization to gain the strategic investor confidence as well. When different players are investing into the organization, okay, they do look for the dark web, they do look about the what data is lying outside. Why I'm giving this is, these are very important so that how you can build your careers, whichever stream you are in. Okay, you have to understand the business first and help them and try to see that building security around the innovation idea. Okay, do you feel about the security controls what WhatsApp has satisfactory or not? It's a satisfactory as well. Okay, I will give another analogy so that you'll get about that. Yes, there are some loopholes. I'm a defensive, not an offensive side. That's the reason I'm just pro about solving the problems. Coming to the other aspect perspective, when you start about the Jio TV or Jio Cinema, initially when we last about that, there are no sign up. Did you experience about that? There is no sign-in mechanism. The reason is it's a constant decision to support, to ensure about that, how I can give this particular solution to grandma, or a rukshawala, or a person who doesn't know anything about any technology. He has to click it and start watching his movies. Why I'm giving this example is so that you have to, along with the security, vulnerability mindset, hacking mindset, you need to have about that empathy towards a developer, empathy towards your customer, who are the customer focused about that, so that we can jointly, it will give the opportunity to learn new things. Okay, this is a challenge, how to address that, how to do about that. To continue the same story about that, initially there's a risk appetite as a jointly security organization and a business organization. We took about that skip sign-in, okay, SIM-based sign-in. SIM-based sign-in for 100 to 200 million subscribers. The moment the risk is shooting up, the moment the user base is shooting up, then we introduced about that, it's a mandatory OTP-based. Then after 300, 400, we try to introduce about that, it's a single device binding or multiple devices. So that the organization as a solution is doing about that, you need to add more security controls along with the business. Yeah, when you are building this particular, why I'm giving this one is, especially when you talk about the CXOs, non-security CXOs, and when you talk about security, they don't understand. The CXOs doesn't understand what security, what we try to say about that. Why this is vulnerability. Okay, if I have to exploit this vulnerability, he has to enter in the system, he has to know the tokens, he has to know, there are many reasons the CXOs doesn't buy in. You have to find the mechanism how to convince them and how to understand their side perspective. When we showcase the value towards that, they will be more than happy to help you about that. They will be, the organization will support about, each one is a different one. Let's say, for example, there are some small startups, there are mid-size entities, there are MNCs, they do have budgets to the security. For different departments, they may not be having about that. You have to use, why I'm giving these tidbits or stories, because about that, you have to use that every conversation, every business interaction is a challenge. I will give another 2-3 examples so that I will do about that. For example, when COVID, when the lockdown has happened, do you know about in Jio or anything, to issue a SIM card, to have a customer care, the call centers works in a fixed location. Do you agree or not? All call centers to work with from the fixed location. When there is a lockdown, and from next day onwards, they have to work, they have to operate from home. They don't have laptops, they don't have iPads, they don't have this one. We have to find a mechanism to avoid any business disruptions. And at the same time, it is a duty of security how to safeguard the customer data. Because call center people, they are privileged to see all the call records. When you make a call, he has to open the record and it will be available for him. We have to ensure about that security is taken care from the protection from the customer perspective as well. So we have to innovatively think about that, how to do about that. Like masking, so none of the data won't be visible about that. These are security controls where we can help about that to, without having any single day disruption, we enable them to do the Citrix way or VPN tunnel way, different mechanisms, and ensure about that they don't see any data. Before accessing any customer data, he has to validate with the OTP. These are the different, innovatively or specific to that particular situation, we have to help them and try to do that. That's another scenario. I will give another scenario about that. For example, IPL matches. 2 to 3 years before, when anyone backed the license from the IPL, it's a paid one. Hotstar or other things, it's paid one. When Jio has entered in this one, it's IPL matches, it's free. They've made it a free perspective. Now, I'm not interested about the business perspective. I'm talking about the security perspective only. Okay. The moment the announcement has done saying about that, it's a free to ever about that. The customer footprint, the throughput, the expected load is it troubled with the 3x or 4x concurrency. When we have a concurrency of a 3x and 4x, suddenly the infrastructure has to be increased. Okay, whatever the security controls that we have about that are the security controls. If we continue maintain the same security controls, how it is impact the user experience. If the user have the experience about the goal, if he's trying to, will be happy about that while watching the movie, while watching the IPL match. So we have to balance, balance about the security controls versus the innovation. And at the same time, slightly tweaking some of the controls and helping them, the business, to do about that. Once it is done, then again we apply the security controls again. Then. Why I'm giving this, it's not lowering about that, understanding the business context and giving the appropriate guidance and giving about that. That's what I want to share about the little experience about my profile, how to build in your team's perspective. Especially one topic, how to build the team. Okay, as you know, in security domain, for any person, is it possible to learn Java, C++, Python, all the technology, all the programming languages, Android, iOS? It's not practical. We may call it as jack of all or master of this one. It's very difficult to do about that. And the lifespan of any security engagement, it's hardly about 1 week, or 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, depending on the project. But the developer, he spent about 6 months or 1 year. When you're trying to do secure or enhance a security posture, or you try to hack about that, or you try to do some advisory, your window is very small, and their exposure to that is very huge. Yeah, when we are building the security team, you have to back your team. Okay? They are good in the hacking, they are good in exploring, identifying the vulnerabilities, but they may not be good in bulldozing by the developer community. And the PMO pool, the architecture pool, the business pool, they do bulldoze the security people saying about that, it's not an issue. Okay, I don't have to follow this compliance about that. Okay, you are blocking me, this one is. As a team, we have to empathize, we have to stand, we have to give the right examples to safeguard and protect our own resources. And on the job, we have to give continuously. I'll follow the 3 mantras. Learn, continuous learning, whatever it is, his experience, his profile, whatever I do about the continuous learning. And along with that one, he should do the contribute. Learn and contribute, learn and contribute. And excel, operation excellence. So that's where to improve, make it better on existing processes. I strongly believe in any organization they'll be having policies, standards and procedures. I believe these standard procedures, policies has to be living documents, so that they can make the changes whenever any employee give the feedback, when any business teams give the feedback, it will go to the compliance team, and compliance team will ask the security team and try to enhance the policies documents. Why I'm saying it's continuously operational excellence. Okay, in the operational excellence, for the security teams, they need to have a helping hands with the automation, giving the AI tools, so that to do about that. And the last one is I want to have about the innovate. When they have about that, these three metrics and give a free power hand to the team members, to the team build with that, they will stick to you. They'll be more than happy to be part of the team and allow him to grow exposed to different verticals. Especially in my organization, I do have privilege to spend time sometime in retail and then media and then gaming and IoT, different ways that we can give you the opportunity. That I have a liberty there, but some places may not be there. But if you're in, if you have that opportunity, allow him to explore other verticals also, because security geeks want to have every 2 years, every 6 months, every 1 year, 2 years, they want to have a change. If you have to build the right people and you want to retain the talent, you have to keep it in mind so that to grow in the organization. This is what I want to touch base about the how to build a team here. And coming to the, how much time we have? We have top trends, what I can think about that. Excuse me. Yeah, I will just want to touch base about some of the, what I perceive personally, because you do see Google out there and try to see that what are the top trends, what's happening, what's going around this one is. From my own perspective, I want to give about that based on industry, what is the hands-on perspective I want to give about that. As you always know about that, with 4G and then 5G and then 6G, the digital footprint will be huge. And there are so many IoT gadgets will be going to come over there, and automations will be happening about that, and local clusters will be there. The way we have a cloud transformations will be happening about that. The earlier, before COVID, it's a hybrid. From COVID to now, it's a totally cloud only. It's a mix of all. And going forward, after having 5G and 6G, it is going to be localized. Let's say, for example, Hiranandani cluster, if they're building about these many blocks, they can afford one dedicated connection for their entire population. If a factory, which an industry having about that, they can have their own private Wi-Fi. So the changes that we are going to see with 5G and 6G, it's a huge. The IoT space perspective, the automation space perspective, that is one of the trends we are going to see in the coming year, this year or next year. That's I see about that. And the footprint with the cloud is again changing to the edge cloud, hybrid, and then private, and then edge cloud, because many entities, especially big MNCs as well, they are feeling the pinch of the cost. When the cloud is getting popular, they say about that you are going to save about 10% cost. You have to spend only 10% instead of spending about 90% or 100% in the data center way. But companies are realizing about that. It's not that within 2 years, whatever they used to spend in data center, 2 to 3 years, they have to spend that much amount. They are seeing about that pinch. There is no cost benefit. Now again, the trend is moving towards they have the localized one. It's a mix. This will continue. It doesn't mean that when AI comes about that, we do always see about that stories and hear about that we will lose the jobs. Okay, during 2000, will anyone lose the jobs? It will change. We have to adapt to the new technologies only. Nobody will going to lose it. They have to adapt to the new technologies. Some jobs will obsolete, and some other new jobs will be coming about that. In 2000, it happened that way. 2007, it happened that way. 2013, it happened about that way. In the future, also, it is going to happen in the same way. Okay. In AI, and it's a must. The way the way we do learn about that. For example, adopting to the AI is important. Everyone has to be prompt engineers. Whether we like it or not, everyone has to be good prompt engineers, how to use the AI and try to see what's happening about that. The reason for having AI, especially as an individual, is it will help to increase the efficiency, to help to know about before in stuff. It's like your like a Robo Chitti or the new Kalki different one, what is the name? Buji. In the same manner, that when you are master about the AI chatbot on your own, you will be having a helping hand to do how to respond in fast track mode. Okay, how it is going to disrupt in cybersecurity trends perspective? Okay, it is lowering the cost of the attacker from the attacker perspective. Earlier, if it is taking about 100K or 200K with the AI and automation and affordable tools, it is coming down to from 100K to 20K, 30K. Okay, whether they have to have a successful social engineering attack, or they want to have about that ransomware simulation, or they want to have a targeted person how to catch hold of their identity, AI is helping the hacker community as well to enhance it and do about that in a fast track mode with a less cost effective. That is going to change about that. In the same manner, we also have to enhance our security stance about that. Yeah, that's another, as you know about that, the cloud footprint. Earlier, we do know about that, how many ports are open, how many services are open. Now it is going to be so many services, PaaS services, IaaS services, SaaS services, and each one has their own public IP, their own different ports perspective. Yeah, going forward, it is going to be zero trust model only. Zero trust model in the sense is it multi-factor? Are you recommending multi-factor? That's not. I'm not recommending multi-factor as such. Perspective. Whichever way it is, a single factor, double factor, multi-factor way, whatever you do about that. Zero trust model, don't trust by default. Okay. We have a suspicion model. Have designed the solutions with a verify model. Verify the user, authenticate the user, verify the whether they are using the authorized assets or not. Okay, from location, from which location is trying to log in, and what is the pattern he's trying to do that. Define the thresholds. That's what I believe in the zero trust. I don't believe in the purchasing a tool and then do about that. Zero trust in our solution should have the authentication, right authentication, device management would do about that, geolocation, and what is the pattern. Okay, regularly Ravi used to log in at 11 o'clock and then at 8 o'clock, and suddenly at one fine day or one special 2 o'clock, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., there are huge hits. That should be the anomaly. That should be the anomaly to throw an alert. It may be genuine request. That should be the anomaly of our SOC, our security monitoring team to throw alert. There is special abnormal behavior. Why Ravi from Ravi account there is a more requests are coming at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. That's what I believe in the zero trust adoption and how it will give the feed to the new generation SOC systems. Yeah. Yes, as I said previously, as a social engineering attack and ransomware is another, this one IoT, I said about that, and quantum computing. As you know, you would hear about the quantum. I'm hearing about the last 10 years before. I'm going to hear about now also. It is going to be there as well in the future also. But it is going to take some time, quantum computing. But at the same time, because earlier we don't have libraries to be having quantum protected cryptography using the cryptography. Nowadays, we do have libraries are available. Wherever you feel about that encryption and cryptography, excessive cryptography, people are using about the like a chatbots or interactive one, for example, Signal or WhatsApp or our own Jio chat. It uses the cryptography which is having RSA, AES, and at the same time ready for the quantum computing. Choose the algorithm, choose the random entropy specific to the quantum safe. That's one way to prepare ourselves to do about that. Yeah, and the last one and last two, but not least, supply chain. When we talk about supply chain, I don't mean about in an organization, do we have a Cisco? Many people will have Cisco. Do you have Microsoft? Adobe? There are so many products which are very popular. We do take it as a granted they are secure. I believe that the way we treat our line of business applications, our products, The way we integrate any OEM product, I don't bias anyone, any entity. Any OEM product, we have to be little conscious, little be suspicious about that. What is the security control you are going to bring to me? You would have seen so many headlines about that. Microsoft Exchange Server, okay, Okta. There are so many breaches happened in the last one. The reason behind saying about that, we do assume saying that they are secure, they are coming from the well-established entities. No, I believe that supply chain is we have to include their applications within our boundary to cover within our scope. And the last but not least, privacy and regulatory compliance. In the coming as the new government, and they're going to introduce the policies, and it is a must to why it is privacy and regulation compliance is very must, because if a small entity, startup entity or mid-sized entity or MNC's case, if you want to compete with world leaders or world competitive entities, okay, you have to be compliant with their different regulators. If you go for European, you have to be compliant with GDPR. If you have to be in the banking and financial industry, you have to be PCI DSS. If it is in the healthcare industry, you have to be HIPAA compliance. Okay, ISO 27000. There are so many complaints is going to come about that, and data localization is going to come about that. These are very, very important. You have the foundation controls when you are giving the recommendation, when you are identifying the vulnerabilities, so that, okay, try to give about somebody, we come across Aadhaar card is visible, or some PAN cards are visible, or PI data is publicly available. We have to educate to the people saying about why those are available in a clear text formats. Okay, why I'm giving these are trends, because these are very important to do about that. And the next, last one, investing on the people. You need to have a cyber warriors or a good set of people who will help you to, it's a continuous, because you know that there is scarcity there in the market. You don't find the right people. When we interview the people as well, it's very difficult to people the right mindset, right skilled people. Our organization has to invest, and they have to continuously invest on the people. That's what I want to touch base about. These are the few trends that I can think about that. That's it. I will open for the questions, depending on the time, how much time we have.
So actually, let's.
Okay, 5 minutes, yeah. 2, 3 questions. Any questions from anyone? Yeah, please.
So I wanted to ask, how do you, what are your thoughts on insider threats, and how do you approach the insider threat, and what are the steps you take to mitigate that?
Fantastic, fantastic. That's very, for the benefit of all, insider threat. In a small, medium, and then large enterprises, as the company grows, the employee pool, the IT pool, the people who has privileged access will be more. So the risk will be exponentially is growing that way only. Yeah, the best one is saying about is, we do have multiple security controls to go about that. Okay. Insider threat is, he will misuse the internal assets. Or insider threat is, he will extract the data and steal the data, IPR, data perspective. For each one, we have to address, first of all, we have to list down all the risks associated to that. And then he has a privileged access, or he has access to DLP will be helpful. Okay. Having the least privileged access is helpful. Just in token perspective, when any insider, if he's having, they have to separate about the production data and development environment. For the production and operations, when we have about that, it doesn't matter which role, which title they are in, it has to be justified. Every role, every user has to be justified. And if anyone is doing the privileged operations, for example, troubleshooting, and he has to download report generation, for example, I'll give you the example, Troy, there's a compliance requirement is there. We have to share the data to the Troy, DOT. There's a compliance requirement. But the data, what we do is pretty huge. Even though the same person is doing about that, after activity is completed, it has to be revoked. And when they're communicating the data, we have to use the authorized channel, preferred to have the B2B. And perimeter level controls and broker, cloud broker control. There are different things, and continuously monitoring about that assets. Okay, these are the different controls that we can think about how to avoid it. And security awareness, social engineering to avoid this means continuously awareness and making them accountable also. Okay, by having the pledge, by having the responsibilities perspective. I'll give you an example, toll gating. If any walk-in using my card, if you are able to walk in about that, I can always say that I am not the one. But when I give my card to you, I am equally accountable. So these there are fear factor has to create in the organization as well, so that he should feel about that, yes, he is accountable. Okay, that's a few recommendations that how we can avoid that. Any other? Yeah, please.
Hi, sir. Good morning. So my question was that being a cybersecurity consultant, as you mentioned, other than using the facts such as you mentioned about HIPAA and NIST frameworks, what are the other roles that a cybersecurity consultant might work and might use in the industry?
Can you repeat again?
Like basically, what are the other roles that a cybersecurity consultant uses in the particular industry, other than the NIST framework and the HIPAA, as you mentioned?
Yeah, it's a primarily risk framework. Okay, the risk framework will include about that different. Each business organization has a different one. Like a gaming industry will be having different, media industry is having a different, banking will be different. From risk perspective, all are same. From security controls perspective, it varies differently. Okay, we should not have an attachment to any business organization. We have to step back. The fundamentals doesn't change. The security fundamentals will always remain irrespective of the technology, irrespective of the domains. Authentication has to be there. Okay, their underlying data has to be protected. The infrastructure has to be secured. How the operations will be there, how the data they are taking care about that. These fundamentals doesn't change. We have to keep our fundamentals, whatever we have the security principles that we follow, least privilege access. These things we have to keep in mind and accordingly apply to the respective domain. Especially HIPAA, when you touch base about the HIPAA perspective, it's let's say, I'll give an example, you will understand about that. When a patient walk into the, I had a little experience recently, when I went to the Fortis for a health, whole body checkup, they gave him one consent form. Okay, all your reports, you are giving the consent to me to give it to my third party for further analysis. Okay, as a patient, I walk into the hospital, he was taking my own consent saying about that, I am ready to give all your reports to the third party one. There is no option to decline about it. By being the security professional, I said, I am not opting for it. I don't want you to give my data to the third party. These are, why I am giving this example is saying that HIPAA, this healthcare products perspective, without your knowledge, if you go to the airport, Digi Yatra, how many know that it's an optional? Many people doesn't know. Digi Yatra is an optional only. As I said about this, awareness is important, and when we try to do about, you always are saying that, is nurse should be required to see all the reports? No. General physician should see all the reports? No. Like a chest specialist, can he see all the reports? If you try to see about that really, HIPAA way, Western way, look about that, only selective sections of the report can be visible to the authorized doctors. They have to earmark of the data sets. This data set will be accessed by these people, this data set will be accessed by these people, data set will be accessed out of your own reports. That's a real way to implement about that. And following the security fundamental principles is the way to handle that. And risk framework, you pick anything, SANS risk framework or any other risk framework and customize it which is you are comfortable. There is no single, is a qualitative only risk framework. What you implement about it's up to you. Because you are, as a security consultant, you are the one who has to justify all the questions, all the answers, all the recommendations that you are going to give to the client. So feel free to customize the risk framework, what you come across about that, without losing the essence of the broader context. One last question, done? Yeah, done. Thank you so much. Offline, we can have a further discussion if anyone has any questions. Thank you so much.